all-time great Braylon Edwards and, of course, Maz are about to take over on Woodward Sports. Every day, 2 to 4 p.m., it's the best Detroit sports talk on Detroit's best sports network, Woodward Sports.
Welcome, everybody, into Ermanni and Edwards with Maz. Braylon Edwards here. Ryan Ermanni will be joining us in about 15 minutes. Something ran long at Fox, so we await him. So we'll start off by saying hello to our resident Uncle Tom Mazway. T-Maz, how you doing?
I'm good, Bray. Bad migraine day today, but I'm fighting it off, and I couldn't miss opening day for the Lions because this is officially opening day for the Detroit Lions.
This is officially opening day, and this is the week of the start of the season. Thursday, you'll have the Baltimore Ravens taking on the Kansas City Chiefs. We'll have more on that later in the show, but before we get to Michigan and Michigan State, who each got a win in week 1 of the season, obviously we'll talk about the big landscape.
Lackluster.
100% it was, and we will get into that. It was a snooze fest on both of them. The weekend passed. How'd you guys? We had an extended weekend. I got a chance to get outside a little bit. It started on Friday for me and my man KG as we went to the Detroit Tigers game that I left right before it heated up in the 8th. You know me. I'm always leaving right before the magic happens. But this is myself, this is KG, and then it's my brother-in-law, Cam. We enjoyed the, it was a little hot.
It was.
But we enjoyed it. It was a beautiful night. It cooled down a little bit. Tigers just couldn't put anything together for me. I got out of there, and the KG, you actually enjoyed a better show than I did.
No, absolutely. The comeback started. Shout out Kerry Carpenter, man. They put it together and just couldn't get it done in 10th, man. I stayed for the 10th inning. Then they end up giving back-to-back home runs, Shelby Miller, and then whoever else came in after him. But, yeah, a great game, man. Shout out to you for hooking that up with the seats. Beautiful, beautiful night of baseball.
I went Saturday night. They wound up. They won 2-1 Saturday night.
It was a beautiful night.
And then Sunday they won. So they took 2 out of 3 from the Sox. Then last night they could not get the bats going. And the Padres are a hell of a team. Joe Musgrove pitched 6 scoreless, and they win it. It was 1-0 going into the 8th. They wound up winning 3-0. So the Tigers, with the day off today, come back with 2 more with the Padres. So that's a tough team to play. And they're fighting for their lives. They're still only 5 games out of that wild card with about 24 games or so to go. I'm not giving up on this team. But, A.J. Hinch pulled a couple of strings last night that I was kind of like saying, what the hell are you doing? Pinch hit for Kerry Carpenter in the 8th with 2 guys on. He went with that lefty-righty combo. He went with Justin Henry Malloy, who had just come up from AAA. And he did not get a hit. He struck out on a half swing. They called him out, and that put out the fire. I never would pinch hit for Kerry Carpenter. He's one of your best bats. But you know what? A.J. Hinch has done pretty good so far. Tigers are still over 500 ball right now.
They need a collapse from the Royals.
Yeah, look, at the end of the day, I told you guys last week when we talked about it, I wasn't going to get high on hoping this team made the playoffs. It's fun to see a potential playoff chase, but just too much has to be done. And each time I get a little bit of sliver, and maybe I changed the turn. I told you last week, Casey Myers, that was going to be an interesting one for me. But last week we were talking about they were 4.5 back, then 4. Now they're back to 5. So I just don't want to play this song and dance, man. A.J. Hinch, you talk about the movie made, and you didn't agree with it. Yeah. I think A.J. Hinch has had to make so many unique and interesting moves this year to keep the Tigers not even just in it, but above 500 to get back to this point. I think in this place, maybe he's starting to outthink himself, if that's what you're saying, because he's had to make a lot of interesting moves, and a lot of that has gotten us here to where they're still over 500.
I know. He's doing an amazing job with the pitching staff, and they've been doing awesome. Yeah. To give up 1 run, in 7 innings to the Padres at home is good. Then they give up, the reliever comes in, and they just couldn't keep him off the bases, and a couple of little infield hits, nothing really too spectacular, and San Diego pounded out a 3-0 win. They get the day off today, and they'll come back tomorrow and pick up the pieces. But I've seen Tarek Skubal on Saturday night was outstanding. Outstanding. Home run in the first inning he gives up. And I'm like, I was with my wife, and I'm like, that he's not giving up anymore. And they didn't. They got that 2-1 lead, and they rode it all the way. He went 8 innings, over 200 strikeouts for the year, 16 wins. He is going to be the Cy Young winner of the American League. He deserves it. He is fantastic. And I got to say, I think I've seen 8 of his wins at least. I've been lucky enough to get down to the ballpark for 8 of his starts that he has won. And the one time I went down there against the Dodgers, he got a no decision. But he's what a guy, what a pitcher. They are so lucky to have him.
Yeah, Terry Scuba he's kind of the engine that drives this new Detroit Tigers. We really started getting excited once early on in the season. You saw that Terry Scuba, like you said, you went down there to those early matchups, Maz. You saw early on that this is going to be a really good year for him. And at every turn, he's continued the year. He's stayed in the game, and he's actually consistently pitching at a rate in which we're starting to now compare him to another pitcher that we used to have that was a first-round draft.
No, big facts. I think he has maybe 3 or 4 starts left for the season, and he has a serious chance to win the pitching Triple Crown. So
that'd be sweet.
Hoping he can bring it home, man, even though this Tiger season may all be for naught.
It'd be nice to get 20 as well. 20 wins would be really, really nice. I don't remember the
When's
last
time
Tigers
somebody
pitcher.
got it to him?
It had to be Verlander or Scherzer, right?
It's got to be
It had to be one of them.
Yeah, Justin Verlander.
I think Scherzer might. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You know what else I watched last night? I got going because here's what happened to me, guys. Let me fill you in. Remember how Bally Sports and Xfinity had a divorce?
Yeah.
Guess what? Saturday night, I'm getting ready to watch. Who the hell was playing?
LSU.
and LSU
And USC.
And USC.
Yep.
I'm ready. And what happens? My DirecTV goes blank.
Oh,
And it says, I'm sorry, Disney and DirecTV's contract has expired. So I'm like,
Cut you off
what?
quick. Y'all couldn't even finish the game first.
I go to ABC. It was on Channel 7, ABC.
Yeah.
I go to ESPN, same thing.
Wow.
I go to Disney, same thing. So I'm like, all right, there's got to be more than one way to skin a cat. Let me go to my ESPN Plus app. So I go to my ESPN Plus app. I sign in. They make you jump through 80 hoops of fire.
Yeah.
Because you know how to sign in for an app. And I was at my friend's house. So
Okay.
I'm signing in
Right.
under my name. Guess what? The thing pops up. We were like jumping up and down like kids. We got the game, blah, blah, blah.
Psych.
So last night I'm thinking, I'm going to do it again. No, they caught up. I cannot get anything from ESPN, ABC,
Wow.
and Disney, and DirecTV and them are fighting right now. And last year, I think they were fighting with Spectrum Cable.
Spectrum.
Yes.
Yeah.
And at the last second, right before the Aaron Rodgers Monday night game against the Bills,
I was
they
there.
settled. You were there. They settled and they got on. So I've got a few days left here. Otherwise, I don't know. I might have to switch back, go to Xfinity,
Yeah.
go to Kenny's cable
Yeah.
pirate.
Yeah, you
I'm
gotta
gonna be a
pirate
pirate.
now.
I'm
It's a new
gonna be a
generation,
pirate.
man.
Hey,
I'm
I'm
going to be a
just saying.
pirate like Kenny.
Man,
Join the Pirate Club, Kenny. Or
Yes.
Tommy, join
Something's
the
gotta
Pirate Club,
happen.
buddy.
I'm sick of this crap.
Yeah, something's gonna happen. You might be in jail if you go that route. You know, you may want to stay away from that. Look, I go all the streaming apps. I have all the streaming services. Look, I hate paying for them. It is what it is. When we get into these spaces this time of year, I'm always good. Now, I'm paying an arm and a leg, but I think at the end of the day, you have those. You don't need the other ones.
I know, but you're paying a la carte for everything. I don't have Braylon. I don't have Braylon Edwards
Well, it's
money.
not like that though. But through certain services, you get other services. You just gotta pay attention.
So,
to
Right.
so here's what
Those
happened.
deals.
So I'm
Easy
on-
fib to say.
So I'm on the ESPN Plus app last night, and I'm going around. I'm like, maybe I'll see if the 30 for 30s work.
You're right.
So I pop on to 30 for 30.
They always work.
And they work. So
Yeah.
I watched the Michael Chang, American Son. I love tennis. And it takes you back to the 90s.
That was my guy.
It was a great episode. Loved
That's
it.
what's
And then
up.
I'm like, you know what? I forgot to watch the Armando Galarraga.
Yeah.
28 outs.
How was it?
I put it on. I swear to God, guys, it was an awesome hour.
That's
I
great.
felt like I was back watching the game from that day. And Armando Galarraga is a sweetheart of a man. A sweetheart. And then they had Jim Joyce talking to him, and you feel so bad for him. The interviews were great. And the class that did this at Monmouth College, they wanted to, they put an 80-page essay together to turn it in to the commissioner, Rob Manfred, saying, listen, this was a perfect game. Change it right now. Everyone was going for it. Everybody. Jim Joyce wanted to change. Matter of fact, Jim Joyce talked to Bud Selig the next day and said, please, Commissioner, it was a perfect game. I blew the call. You can do whatever you want to me. You can suspend me without pay. You can change my the games that I'm covering. No World Series. Please change it.
Just rectify it,
Just change it. Rectify it. And he would not.
Wow.
And then Rob Manfred read this 80-page essay from these students at Monmouth. And all they wanted to do was not change the game, but at least put him on the list as a recognized perfect game.
Yeah.
And Rob Manfred said, no, I can't do it. It opens up Pandora's box.
Right.
Blah, blah, blah. So
That's great.
that's where we are. It's still not a perfect game. And, that is a great episode, guys. If you haven't seen 28 Outs on ESPN, you got to watch it. And Ryan's in the house now. And the reason I'm bringing this up, Ryan, is
I just told you I was about to bring him in. I'm sorry. I just told you. I said, come to me.
Well, that's what
I didn't see you, Bray.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I didn't see you.
Man's got excited. Do it again anyway. Do it again anyway.
My head hurts.
Said he is.
It's not on you.
Do it again anyway.
Man.
You blew the play. You blew it. All right. So I dropped the ball.
It's like when Pete did it to him a couple of weeks ago. Remember we had him on VMix?
100%.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Pete, I'm going to bring him in. And then Pete said, hey, Ryan Ermanni's here.
Because you kept them waiting forever.
I'm sorry, guys.
Right. Sorry, man.
Look at this guy.
We still love you.
How you guys doing?
Hey.
Good, man.
Oh, man, you guys are great.
We saved, I'm sorry, I mean the salad. We saved the juicy part of the show for you, man.
Oh, yeah.
I was listening to the whole way in
We
here.
got Michigan.
Did you hear how I got screwed on ESPN?
Maz, I was dying because, listen, this whole thing, when the Bally's went off Xfinity, it was one of the worst days of my life.
Yeah.
The entire summer was stolen from me, I feel like, for Tigers baseball. And all the people that then went to DirecTV, and you're one of those guys that I thought of. Now to have that happen, there's no college football on ABC, ESPN.
Nope.
There's no Monday Night Football for you. If you have kids, there's no Disney.
And there's no Bachelorette for my daughter that wants to watch it on ABC.
I mean, it's insane how these things happen. So now do you go back? It's a mess out there what happens with these cable companies. I mean, it's one of the things, and I do consider DirecTV a cable company as well.
Yeah, it is.
You know, they're trying to retain customers, okay? I mean, in this world, Bray, where you're trying, everybody's doing streaming and YouTube TV and this stream and this stream. And man, if you're trying to get rid of your customers, take channels off the air that people actually watch.
Right. Yeah. Right before again.
You know what they're going to do? They're going to make me pay for it now.
Exactly.
On top of everything.
Well, I mean, it's one of those things, too. Like, if you pay for ESPN Plus, and I do. People, how you cannot allow people to watch that pay for ESPN Plus, that is criminal.
It is. Yeah. And Disney Plus.
Yeah, that's criminal.
Yes, it is.
I don't agree with that. Sorry I was late in today, guys. I had a station mandatory meeting at Fox 2 that I just that ran over, and I got here as fast as I could. So here I am right now. And it's so good to be with you guys.
Same,
it is
brother.
Game week for the Detroit Lions. We have a game to react to at the University of Michigan. And it's football season. The weather's outside. You feeling the crisp. And Braylon, you're looking good in the Michigan block end,
Appreciate that,
baby.
man.
Go blue, baby.
I got to support, man. Despite what people say about the weekend, guys, support, feeling good, worked out. You know, I'm getting back into the gym, but football season is here, man. I think those competitive juices are starting to flow for me. You know, I know what time of year this is for me. It's been a special time since I was born.
You know, can we start there with Michigan just because we're going to react to it instead of preview the Lions, and we're going to have plenty of time. But I do want to start with the Wolverines a little bit, Braylon. There are so many people that were freaking out over this football team, and I've got 5 letters for you. RELAX.
All right, Aaron Rodgers.
Okay, Rodgers. Yeah.
Relax. This is the first game of a new season. This is the first time they have had to replace 10 of 11 starters on offense. 5 offensive linemen, a quarterback, wide receivers.
Running back.
Donovan Edwards, for the most part, has been a supplementary back and not the guy. This is a big deal, and this is going to be a work in progress. As I mentioned the other night, I think the defense is elite.
Oh, yeah.
Can the defense allow Michigan to stay in games long enough for the offense to catch up? I think they can. This season is house money for me. I think they're building towards something, and I'm not mad at all. We'll see what happens this week against Texas. They got some work to do, but they'll improve. That's how I feel about it.
I thought long and hard about how I want to approach Michigan today on the show in terms of how they played, and I'll start here. I'm not going to overreact. I'm not going to overreact to the product I saw. I'll start there. I'm not going to overreact, and the reason why I'm not going to overreact is because I didn't have national championship aspirations for this University of Michigan team.
Yeah.
Now, if I had those aspirations, then I would look at what I saw on Saturday and I would say, hell no, ain't no way. This isn't where I thought it would be. But those aren't the dreams I had. Those aren't the aspirations I had. So with that being said, I can do what Ryan said. I can RELAX, as Aaron Rodgers said. With that being said, he's right again. It's going to take some time when you're replacing these guys. They got to get into a game flow. They got to become understanding what it is when you're on that field in a starting position versus when you're coming in as a 3 and 4 type player. So that'll happen. That'll develop the defense. Another big thing, the reason why this is the first team to win a national championship and not be as high as 7 or wherever they were ranked and everybody made a big deal of that, they didn't just lose players, they lost coaches.
Yeah.
It's going to take coaches a second to come into knowing who this player is and how this field is and what this team really is. So it's going to take a second. The problem is they don't have a second.
Yeah.
Because they start off against Texas next week.
It's tough.
And we know what that is. Texas is a team that's shown, if you want to talk about the top 4 teams in the country, I believe Texas is one of them. I believe Alabama, Georgia, Texas, and Ohio State are the best 4 teams in the country just off what I've seen. Michigan has a ways to go, but we didn't have championship aspirations. Their defense has 2 elite players on the team. 2 arguably the players the best in the country at their particular positions. So the defense will help them out. The thing that Sharon Moore has to do, we can't get into week 3, 4, and 5, Ryan. We can't get into week 4, if I'm being honest. Got to pick a quarterback and go from there. Dancing around with the quarterbacks and shuffling Orgy in and Warren in, not letting him get that rhythm. We've seen this happen before. Pick a quarterback. The only thing I can hope, and I'm not making a judgment too soon, hoping that they save something for next week. I'm hoping there's something that we don't know about. But just watching that show, you say it all the time. If you got what, you got none.
Yep.
If you got 2 quarterbacks, you have none. What I saw from Michigan's offense is not going to be enough to win the Big Ten championship. But once again, I'm not going to overreact because you got to give them time, give them grace.
I'll overreact. They looked horrible. And it's a sin for a team like this to not have a quarterback in waiting for J.J. McCarthy. This is Michigan.
Yeah.
This is a team that should be stockpiling quarterbacks. This is a team that should have receivers. Number 1 is sitting up there on the desk. Where's the next number 1? I know Roman Wilson's gone. He's in the pros.
He won.
I know Colton Loveland is the best guy they have on the team.
He's the
best guy they got on the team is that kid.
Can I ask you a question, man?
Please.
Ryan, you always said Jim Harbaugh would be a head coach of Michigan if Ward Manuel, right? Like, or there's
Some variation of that, yes.
He would have had a better chance to be the head coach if Ward and he were close.
Yes.
That's fair to say. Here's the thing, man. Why wasn't the cupboard full if Jim Harbaugh potentially thought about staying at Michigan? That cupboard was not bare, but it pretty much was down to the Triscuits, if you know what I mean, with the exception of a couple players. Someone that plans on staying, and I know I just switched the whole gear. Someone that plans on staying, they're still locked into the loading process, locked in. Michigan didn't have a big recruiting class last year. I'm wondering if
Well, they did get, Jaden Davis.
They got Jaden Davis.
They got Jaden Davis. They got Jordan Marshall. They got the number 1 running back in the country and the number 1
But they're not ready,
quarterback.
obviously.
No. Why would you start a true freshman when you've lost this much on
I'm
your
just
team?
saying, and if Harbaugh stays, does JJ stay? You know what I mean?
Right.
You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
do you go? I mean, I'm just, you could do this to their blue in the face. I will say on the quarterback, I do, and my social media was like, get Davis Warren out of here. Get Davis Warren out of here.
How's a walk-on
And
starting?
Let me tell you, I don't know Sharon Moore, okay? But I can guarantee you Sharon Moore is not playing Davis Warren because he thinks Alex Orji is better than him.
Yeah.
No, I agree.
Sharon Moore is not making a conscious decision to say, I'm going to sit the better quarterback so I could play this walk-on.
I think it's the opposite. I think he expected to play Alex Orji, and just through practices and everything, it's not working out. He doesn't have the arm.
Or just doesn't have the accuracy, or just not ready yet.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean he's not going to be ready as the season goes on. That doesn't mean that at all. That could be one of the things where, this is a situation where Davis Warren and Alex Orji are competing, and right now you try to do what the 2 quarterbacks do well and combine them, put them in spots to be good for what they do well.
Yeah.
and hoping upon all hope that Orji, because look, let's face it, Orji looks like the better athlete.
Yeah.
The guy can run, he can keep plays alive long enough, but can he throw a 12-yard out route?
But aren't you giving up your game plan at that point? If Orji comes into the game, we know it's a run, we know it's an option play, we know it's something like that.
But you got to do what you got to do.
I hear you.
I think the problem on my end is I allow myself to get blinded. I allow myself to get blinded, get caught up in what Jim Harbaugh was doing in that tiny, not tiny space, but the 3-year space in terms of what he built, what he developed, the coaching, everybody involved, 3 Big Ten, the championship run, national title at the end of it all, to make me think that this was now, Michigan's program was now going to be like Ohio State's, moving forward every year.
Yeah.
Georgia every year, Bama every year, and I'm not knocking Michigan at all. This is just me because I knew what those programs were and what those programs were doing. Like it shouldn't take a drastic drop this far back, even with a lot of that carryover. And so I guess
we talking about one side of the ball though. The defense is still very much great, but offensively, it's just hard to retool. In the Big Ten, it's so much easier for the SEC. Not trying to make excuses, but it's just the reality.
I'm just wondering, did we catch a perfect storm?
And you might have also too because of the quarterback.
Yeah.
J.J. McCarthy. Think about this, guys. Is the first-round quarterback taken at Michigan since 1984.
Facts.
And they didn't even use him in the passing game.
Think about that. That is what you've lost.
Yeah.
So you could talk about Jim Harbaugh and Sharon Moore and the offensive linemen and Blake Corum and all this.
Yeah.
You just lost the first-round quarterback in 40 years at Michigan. This isn't even Chad Henne or John Navarre or Elvis Gerbach or somebody like that. Todd Collins, who had a nice career in the NFL.
Yeah.
You're talking about a first-round quarterback. If you have a first-round quarterback, I'll show you a team that's going to light it up offensively and be in the thick of things.
But here's the question to that. J.J. McCarthy was a first-round quarterback and actually looked pretty good before he got injured. But J.J. McCarthy ain't the reason why Michigan was winning. Like, if this is Deshaun Watson, if this is, Jared Goff when he was at Cal, those teams were winning because of their quarterback. Those quarterbacks were elite. Those quarterbacks were sitting on the Heisman board. J.J. McCarthy, we knew was a really good quarterback, but didn't need to show it because we were so heavily based in the run game. That's not why I think Michigan is on the.
But I think that's also a little unfair to say because maybe they didn't win because of J.J. McCarthy, but I don't think they win if they don't have him either.
That's facts, yeah.
I agree.
May I?
Please.
The chat's kind of agreeing with Braylon, and I might be starting to go on his way. Maybe Jim said, okay, I'm going to bring this Connor Stallions kid in. We're going to listen to me. We're going to cheat like everyone else cheats. We're going to do it better. I've got a professional team here that is ready, that's going to all graduate and go to the NFL. I'm going to win a national championship and walk the hell away from there. Because what happened to him? Did he get a raise since they took the money away from him? No. So he was going out on his high horse. Maybe, Bray, you might have just hit the jackpot. He might have said, here's 3 years, here's my experiment, I'm all in. No, I don't know. I don't know Connor Stallions is doing this. No. I don't know any of that.
Now they're using my rhetoric against me.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that's the case. I also think this team had 13 people be drafted in the NFL.
Yes.
That's real hard to lose, man.
And coaches.
You show me a team that can do that and reload.
Alabama.
Yeah, but also that's
SEC.
Let's see what Alabama does with Kalen DeBoer this year. I think losing the coach, and they had a blowout win in their first game. I understand that. Let's see if Alabama, makes it to the Final Four this year. Let's see. I'm not even saying win a national championship. They'll probably make the playoff. Let's see if they can make it to the national championship. it's taken Texas like 25 years to get back to being any good. If Michigan beats Texas this week, what if they do?
They won't.
Okay, I'm just saying, what if they do?
Okay.
What are you going to say?
I'm happy.
I'm
happy. When I saw that game, I went like this. I even wrote you guys, I think.
Yeah.
Michigan's a 14-point underdog.
And why?
And they're only 7.
But what? Can I ask you, what is the number one reason why you think Texas is going to beat Michigan?
Michigan can't score.
Yeah.
Correct.
The quarterback.
The offense.
They have a first-round
quarterbacks.
They have a first-round quarterback
Yeah, and Arch Manning.
Understood, but Michigan can't score.
who's also a first-round quarterback.
True. Michigan can't score. That's the biggest
And why
thing.
can't we? Because we don't have a first-round quarterback.
Or a receiver.
Okay, that's fine, but it goes back to what I'm saying. I'm being honest. It's going to be tough for Michigan this year.
Yeah.
The reason why I like Alabama, you're right. It is a brand new quarterback, and Kalen DeBoer, who you saw what he did with Washington. But wait, now look at it. Washington had a number 1 draft pick at quarterback last year who played in the system with Kalen DeBoer for how many years? Who's a similar style quarterback to Jalen Milroe, who's now entering his 3rd year, a 2nd-year starter, 63. When we watched Alabama last year, Maz, Ryan, you'll agree with me, and even the year before that, Alabama, what do we say? This doesn't look like the same Alabama.
Right.
Like, started the season last year, didn't look like the same Alabama. The year before that, they just didn't look like that same dominant Nick Saban-led Alabama. I don't care who you playing, 63-0, and you play like that, that looked like the Alabama that I remember. That looked like what I'm recognizing. I'm saying, like, this Jalen Milroe, he only had 7 of 9, so he didn't go out there and light it up like Miller did from USC. But it looks a little bit different. It looks like Kalen DeBoer and he maybe have a better relationship, and maybe he'll turn into a passer. That's tough.
I just want to go on record and just, it's very important for me to state that I'm not overreacting to this game at all. If they play Texas and get run out of the gym, I'm not talking about losing. I don't think there's any shame at losing to Texas, a team that has national championship aspirations.
And they had to replace a lot, so we don't know if Texas is going to be 2 running backs, 2 defensive tackles.
Absolutely. They're a team with national championship aspirations. They're a team with a first-round quarterback. They're actually a team with 2 first-round quarterbacks.
I would agree.
A team that's supposed to, this kid will probably be picked in the top 6 of the NFL draft. If you lose to Texas, I don't think there's any shame in that. Yeah. If you get run out of the gym and lose by 3 touchdowns, well, then we got a problem. And maybe I will overreact at that point. Yeah. But I'm not overreacting. What do you think they're doing in Oregon right now, in Eugene? Number 3 team in the country. Yeah. Number 3 team in the country with a quarterback who also believes he's a first-round quarterback. Yeah. You play Idaho at home, and you're winning 17-14 midway through the 4th quarter. You ultimately won 24-14. Yeah.
That's as bad a game as Michigan played.
I'm just saying.
I get it.
Is anybody saying that Oregon, their season is over and they should, essentially?
Okay, I feel better, man. Thank you.
Right? But I don't believe what I said that their season was over.
No.
Well,
I believe I said that I didn't have national championship aspirations.
Okay, let me do this. Set you up. What is the ceiling for Michigan this year?
Playoff.
Now that you've seen them, what is the ceiling for Michigan this year? I want your answer to that next. Let's take a break. Right. We'll do that. But first, a message from Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC. What happens when you run a great business for over 50 years? You expand and offer more products to more people. That's exactly what Les Stanford did by adding Les Stanford Buick GMC. They offer the same great service that customers have come to know and trust. Located in Ferndale on Woodward Avenue, just south of 9 Mile. And if you're looking for a Chevy or a Cadillac, Les Stanford in Dearborn, where they have been on Michigan Avenue for over 55 years. You can find the brand you want under one umbrella. LesStanford.com, LesStanford.com.
Together. Let's drive.
And bring your brand new car from Les Stanford over to the best pregame show. And if you want to know where the best pregame Lions party is going to be on September 8th, you can join us at Detroit's very own Second Best Bar, located at 42 Watson Street for the ultimate fan experience. Enjoy some smooth Tullamore Dew Irish whiskey while catching the Woodward Sports pregame show only at the Second Best Bar. Come get some.
The countdown to kickoff is here. Your Detroit Lions are ready for another season of grit. Woodward Sports is your #1 destination for all breaking news and Lions coverage. We are Detroit's #1 sports network. We are Woodward Sports.
Braylon Network's here, Premier Pet Supply. Man, just looking around, who's got it better than pets? Come on, a baby stroller for Coda? A chef for Lola? Really? You don't have to tell me who the real boss here is. Who's got it better than pets? Nobody, especially here at Premier Pet Supply. For over 30 years and more than 13 locations, Premier Pet Supply has everything that your pet can dream of, and guess what? It's all under one roof. Premier Pet Supply, family owned, operated, and proud to call Metro Detroit home. Check out premierpetsupply.com or scan the QR code today. Who's got it better than pets?
Nobody!
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit Sports.
Oh, let me just say, I love Planet Fitness.
Trying out Planet Fitness and dang, they got lots of equipment.
Not me getting a Planet Fitness membership just for the 24-hour perk.
Listen, the PF Black Card is worth every penny for this hydro massage. I'm a new man.
Did y'all know that the PF app has workouts you can do at home? Cheapest therapy I can find is Planet Fitness.
All the benefits, all for less. Planet Fitness, big fitness energy for all.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience from one of our talented stylists. Enjoy a precision haircut, hot lather neck shave, scalp and neck massage, and a hot towel treatment to top it off. Enter for your chance to win the $50,000 Perfect Bracket Challenge. With more than 25 Metro Detroit locations, there's always a Lady Jane's near you. Lady Jane's Haircut for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome.
Congratulations to the real Coach of the Year, Motor City Dan Campbell.
Just put your head down and go to work. It's about to be fun, man. It's about to be fun.
Woodward Sports.
And right now, more than ever, it's critical for you to have your insurance reviewed, and Swiss Insurance will make sure that your carrier is not slipping in those extra fees. Call Mark at Swiss Insurance today, 313-530-1698, or head to SwissINS.com over to Bray.
Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential. And the reason why you got to go is because they are the best gym in the state. They also feature the home of the squeaky clean gym. But for everybody who likes to work out, and sometimes you need that trainer. Every membership comes with a trainer. That's right, no extra charge. Whether you get the platinum membership or whether you get the black card, it doesn't matter. Trainers will be there for you. It's a no judgment zone. Come in, you work out, you enjoy yourself, your own pace, you do your own thing at Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential, the best in the state.
Guys, we'll get to some Detroit Lions talk momentarily. We've got all week to talk about them, and really we will spend a lot of time on that. We'll talk about them a lot today as well. Each of us have done a game-by-game breakdown.
Yeah, we have.
We have picked NFC playoffs, AFC playoffs, Super Bowl predictions. We've taken some time and done that, so we want to share that with you. Whether we do one of us a day, all of them today, we'll get to them. But the Michigan Wolverines have played a game, and there's plenty to discuss when it comes to that. And I think a lot of overreactions, and I think depending upon how you feel about Michigan, I think it's okay, and you're probably right, but I am taking the tack that I'm going to take a little bit of a back seat here, see what they do against Texas for a number of reasons. I mean, that I don't feel like I need to reiterate. But, Braylon, before we took the break, I asked, what is legitimately your ceiling for the Michigan Wolverines this year? Because you have been going with the premise that, well, I don't expect them to win the national championship this year, and that is kind of shaping where you are with this team. So what are your expectations? What is their ceiling?
I think their ceiling is to get better week by week, and 9-3, if you want to put a number on 9-3, I think is their ceiling.
So 9-3 would mean they would beat one of these three teams. USC, Oregon, Texas, or Ohio State. For them to go 9-3, they would have to beat one of those four teams: USC, Oregon, Texas, or Ohio State.
And out of those three teams, I think USC is the team. Look, I know what they did against LSU. I know they're a really good team. I don't trust their defense as much as I trust their offense. I trust our defense against their offense, and I think our offense by that time will have grown a little bit and we'll be able to make some moves. The reason why I don't trust Michigan even more than that in terms of the games, 9-3, I just saw a lot out there, and that's why I said I didn't have the aspirations. I hoped, but I didn't have the aspirations, whatever. I just saw a team that on the offensive side of the line, because they had to replace so many linemen, like, look, this is like when Michigan basketball went to the national championship, lost to Louisville. Remember the year leading up to that with Trey Burke and Mitch McGary and Glenn Robinson II, and you can go down the list, Tim Hardaway Jr., you had all those guys. But then after the national championship game, most of those guys went to NBA, and we had 2 guys left, Nistauskas, and then Michigan got to Elite Eight, and then that was it.
Yeah.
Michigan basketball kind of went kaput because they didn't stack. I think Michigan right now is kind of in that transit space. But the good news, Sherman Moore has been there. He's helped build that identity. Next year will be a better year. But right now, just because of what I've seen, 3 games has to be the ceiling for me.
I'm with them. Nine wins is my max wins. I thought they were going to do 10, maybe even 11. But I was dreaming. I was saying that's the champions that are playing this year, national champions. But they're not the same. It's Sharon Moore, who is undefeated as a head coach, by the way, with Michigan. There's no Jim
29
Harbaugh.
consecutive wins, the most in Big Ten history.
They're rolling. They're rolling. And you know what? I didn't like what I saw the other day. But like you said, Rye, it's one freaking game.
It is.
Oregon barely beat whoever the hell they played.
They play Idaho.
Yeah, Idaho. Is that Division
Vandals.
2? Isn't that a Division 2 team?
They're Division 1.
FCS.
Yeah.
FCS.
It is an FCS.
That's what I thought.
So, week 1 is a crap show. But what I saw the other night, LSU against USC, Michigan would have got their doors blown off by one of those 2 teams if they had opened up against them. That's just my humble opinion.
It is your humble opinion, and I agree with you. I side with you, and this is why. I've been in those games. You start the season off, you're not necessarily pretty. You're not necessarily looking the best. I've been my senior season. We started against San Diego State, 33-10. You know, it wasn't nothing special. We was trying to figure out the run of, I think, 27-20, to be honest. That was game 3. Game 1 was Miami, Ohio, 33-10. You're puxing around. You're trying to figure it out. It's carryover. It's change. Guys go to the league. Coaches move on. So it is that sense of, okay. But much like Oregon only won by 10. But Dylan Gabriel threw for 380 and 2 touchdowns. You know they're going to figure it out. Their defense held Idaho to 14. Maybe too many points, but they'll figure that out. Their running back, James, 95 yards. They got what they look like. What they're supposed to be. They're just early on in the season. Sometimes that happens, but they look like it, as whereas some did.
9 wins and a bowl game. They're not gonna. There are bowl games still, right?
I think so.
They're not gonna make. I don't think they make the
Nobody
playoffs. I don't.
I've been called crazy before for my predictions.
You still on the 12-0?
This will be the first year in 2 that we haven't agreed, so I love it.
I'm fine with it. 12-0.
Oh, still.
12-0, and I'll tell you why.
You're strong.
I'll tell you why.
You're strong.
That is my ceiling for this football team, is 12-0. And I think once you get to the playoffs, I think it's a crapshoot. We know nothing about this playoff. No. Don't know how it's going to be. No, don't know anything. So I'm going to say 12-0. Actually, I'm going to say 11. Can I revise this?
Oh, go ahead.
I don't think there's going to be an unbeaten team in college football this year. So I'm going to go 11-1. I'm going to go 11-1. And I don't know who they're going to lose to, but they're going to lose one. Because I don't – that in and of itself is, to me, a prediction that there will be 0 college football teams that go unbeaten this year.
Not even Ohio State?
Not even Ohio State.
Not even Georgia.
Not even Georgia. I think 11-1 to me is the ceiling. And I'll tell you why. And yes, I think the offense has some maturing to do.
Yeah.
But I don't know if anybody has paid attention. The game in college football this season is much shorter. Mm-hmm. The clock does not stop on first downs. The clock barely stops at all.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I like that.
I like it too.
Yeah.
But one of the things I'm telling you is in a short game, the defense matters so much more. The defense doesn't have to stop you 100 times.
Yeah.
The defense has to stop you 5 times a half, seemingly now. Mm-hmm. You know, there's not like 10 different possessions anymore. It's. I mean, that game last night. I look up. The first quarter's over at 0-0. Mm-hmm. USC LSU the other night. I look up. You get one stop on 4th down, and it's 0-0 at the end of the first quarter. Texas could march down, go for it on 4th down. You get a stop. There's 1 quarter right there. You're in the game.
You like the 2-minute timeout?
I like the 2-minute timeout.
as well.
It's fine, but the game is so much shorter now. Your defense doesn't have to be Superman 100 times a game. They just got to be Superman, 5 times a half because of this clock situation. And I like Michigan's chances with the defense in every single game they play.
My only issue with that is it's kind of like the reverse of the Tigers, if you will. Allow me to indulge.
Yeah.
The Tigers' pitching staff, as it relates to how good they pitch, would be equivalent to the defense. Like you're hoping that the Tigers' batters can get a hit. By it being shorter, that means the offense isn't going to have the ball that many times. And when you got an offense that only had 215 yards of total offense and couldn't really move anything outside some decent runs by Mullins, that's when I get scared. If they can't score, who are they going to beat?
And I just think I think college football is having a unique year as well. There's no unbeatable out there. Yeah. I know people like Ohio State. I watched Ohio State play.
Yeah.
They were fine. Mm-hmm. I know people like Oregon. They were fine. I saw Texas's highlights. Fine. You know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, Alabama, Georgia. Georgia looked pretty darn good. But Clemson looked so bad that I don't know if that was because Clemson's so bad or Georgia's that good. I mean, I'm sure it's probably a little bit of both.
Do you remember what I texted you guys? I was like, maybe it's time for Dabo Swinney to take the portion NIL stands.
Maybe?
Because he's the one to say, hey, I don't believe in the transfer portal. I think guys should stick out. I don't believe in NIL. We don't want to make this blah, blah, blah. He's been getting waxed, taxed, and drayed for the last 4 years.
You adapt or die.
Not being a fan of Clemson, I love it.
Same.
Here's this guy being an old school college football guy. I'm going to recruit you, and you're going to be here 4 years if you want.
Right.
If I was a fan of Clemson, I would want to run him out of town.
Seriously.
Can I do a quick pivot and ask a question?
Sure.
Were you going to ask about DJ Ugalele?
You stole my thunder. Maz only knows, man. Can we put to bed the theory that he might be a good quarterback if he goes somewhere?
I've been put that to bed.
Like, come on. He wasn't at Clemson. He wasn't at Oregon State. He's not at Florida State. And his stats will fool you. Mm-hmm. Some decent stats if you just look at numbers, but he's not it. I don't want to hear his name again.
Not only that, I saw last night somewhere somebody was like, for all you Michigan State fans out there, the quarterback that transferred to your school couldn't beat out this kid last year at Oregon State. Mm-hmm. Like, Uiagalelei is not good. I was watching. There was a. I don't think I will see in college football this year when the play is so condensed in the red zone, you very few times have somebody in space wide open.
Yeah.
There was a player in the corner of the end zone. He had half the field to himself.
Oh my God.
And Uiagalelei overthrew him.
Yeah.
When the field is that condensed, you never see somebody that wide open. And he couldn't get him the football. Florida State has lost 3 straight games, 2 straight to start this season. They look horrible.
I wish they looked better. Because I think football's better when Florida State is better. When Florida is better.
Yeah. It's not the same.
It's ugly.
Speaking of Florida State, Florida. They look bad again, too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They're 2 of the teams I agree with.
Quarterback play, man. Yeah. Graham Mertz sucks.
I'm telling you, man.
Why did they pick him up? He sucked at Wisconsin.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I know, but then you're like, well, Bo Nix sucked at Auburn. You know what I mean? Like, I think you get these quarterbacks that have some talent, and you as a coach feel like you can coach something up.
It's
and obviously it worked for Nix. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like,
I think you're absolutely correct. But Mertz is just a guy I never saw anything at Wisconsin. No. He threw a ton of interceptions. Wisconsin actually wasn't bad. When Mertz was he turned the ball over all the darn time. Like, how do you see that?
I mean, Sam Hartman wasn't good either. That went to Notre Dame last year, and then good-looking kid, but he couldn't win the big game. Yeah. And no offense to Riley Leonard, a good win for Notre Dame, but Riley
Leonard
look
to you?
Leaves Duke. He didn't look all that special to me. Yeah, I mean, they couldn't convert on 3rd down. Now Texas A&M's offense couldn't score. I mean,
what's up? So Texas A&M is a great example. It doesn't matter how much you're paying if you don't have the right person. Yep. Like kind of like Nick Saban cracked that joke.
Oh,
if you
my
pay
God.
like Texas A&M the last 3-4 years has paid the most money in college. It's the first year they didn't. Ohio State beat them out by a couple million. So they're horrible every year.
You know who the best coach in the country is?
Hold on. Don't say it.
I
Hold
know who it
on.
is.
Wait. I'd probably say Kirby Smart right now.
I was going to say Nick Saban because he got the hell out.
Yeah.
And he is perfect on that show.
Yeah.
Is he not perfect on that show?
No, he's very good.
And they just told him, say what the hell you want. Say what the hell you want. He makes that show, man.
You know, Bill gave him a call and say, look, you got to change some things on this side. You got to open up. You got to be a little cooler. It's a little easier because you're not best friends. I guarantee you Bill was like, Nick, this is easy money. This is easy fun. No stress. Let it go. Relax. You see me out here. I'm dating this 24-year-old woman.
Right.
You
Living
can do
life.
some things, Nick.
Living
But
life.
as you said, Rod, do you really believe Kirby Smart is the best coach in college
How is he
football?
not? He's lost
Well,
one game
again,
in 3 years.
you know, part of college football too, and where I'll give Kirby Smart credit, and I think, you know, James Franklin, he's always been a great recruiter.
They look good,
but
man.
They did look.
Of course they do.
They did look good against
they do.
West Virginia, and again, we look at these teams and we think they're good. I don't know if West Virginia's good, but I'll say this:
You told me Penn State looked like they was horrible.
Penn State played better. They opened it up a little bit more. And I think if you're a Penn State fan, that is exactly what you've been calling for. They opened up the offense a little bit, and that quarterback made plays. And they're going to be good this year. Michigan does not see them this year on the schedule.
Thank God.
Unless it's in the Big Ten championship game.
Yeah.
But Penn State looked good this year. But I think you got to give Kirby Smart credit because he gets the guys and he coaches the guys up. Franklin, and again, one game against West Virginia, I'm not going to change my opinion. Go beat Ohio State, go beat Oregon, and I'll give James Franklin a little bit of credit. Until he does that, I'm not giving James Franklin any credit.
What do you guys think of Lincoln Riley?
I think it's fine.
Yeah.
I think
it's Brian Kelly that's really the problem.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
I think that game was more about Brian Kelly than
I've
that
got
game
Brian
was.
Kelly sound for you.
I think that game was more about Brian Kelly than that game was about Lincoln Riley.
You can't lose that game.
The problem with Lincoln Riley is if he wouldn't have been gifted one of the best programs in college football history in Oklahoma, while they still were good, while they had 3 back-to-back almost Heisman Trophy players come through there, excuse me, I can look at a game against LSU and say, you know what? After losing Caleb Williams, Lincoln Riley made through, brought another guy out there. He's still trying to find it a little bit on defense. I can give you some credit. But because we've been blowing his head up since he's been first got the team, I got to wait and see more.
They backed up the Brinks truck for him. Gave him his own
they
plane.
did, and that's why I said I got to wait and see more.
Yeah.
Like, when I hear Lincoln Riley, I think of knocking on heaven's door, but he never gets in. Whether it was at Oklahoma, whether it was couldn't beat Utah to get into the field of 4, like he hasn't done it.
Brian Kelly lost his southern accent, too. Did you hear him?
Right.
Here he is after the game.
And we're sitting here again. We're sitting here again talking about the same things. About not finishing when you have an opponent in a position to put them away. But what we're doing on the sideline is feeling like the game's over. And I'm so angry about it that I got to do something about it. I'm not doing a good enough job as a coach. And I got to coach him better because it's unacceptable for us not to have found a way to win this football game. It's ridiculous.
Yes.
Would you have believed me if I told you that LSU has now lost 5 straight season openers?
Wow.
That's why you don't play anybody good. By the way, that's why I've always been an advocate for just play the cupcakes. You got LSU's got a hard enough track in the SEC. Good for them for playing scheduling USC. I mean, good for them.
Yeah. That was in Vegas, that game, and they had the largest crowd in that stadium's history. That means Raider games. Even.
Makes sense though. LSU is in trouble.
Yes.
You think?
LSU's in trouble because Nick Saban went out on a limb and said this is going to be the best team. And I blindly supported it. So I was thinking, okay, LSU would be a sleeper team for me. LSU didn't look good, but Brian Kelly's decision making, like this late in the game, like this late in your coaching career. I mean, how many times are you going to be in these big game moments and you come up short? Like LSU, I believe, is in trouble. I've also never seen Brian Kelly that angry at the podium. When you get a guy with a resume like Brian Kelly's, because he has an elite resume, no national championship, but everything else, And now all of a sudden, later into his career, he becomes that vocal at the podium and that loud. That doesn't spell well for those kids in LSU and Baton Rouge.
It's a great point, Braylon, because the only time you get mad like that is when you're –
It's your fault.
Well, when you're at a loss here, too, and you don't have any solutions.
It's like Brian Daboll on the sideline.
Yeah, you don't have any solutions at all.
They should have went down and not kicked that field goal. They did not play that last set of downs. They should have went
Who
for
made
a
that
touchdown.
decision?
Mm-hmm. That's
But
BK.
I mean, okay. So you kicked the field goal. You got a minute to get to overtime.
I know.
But
those plays sucked down
against USC that you allowed to go 80-some yards, march down and not only have a field goal attempt where the guy missed actually from like 29 or something. You allow a touchdown, a personal foul penalty, helmet to helmet targeting, and
deja vu.
I mean, that's a big deal.
Right.
I mean.
I was impressed with USC. I really was, especially that defense. Last year they were giving up 35 points plus a game.
New defensive coordinator, but again, I think the clock has a lot to do with that. If you have a team that runs the football, the team that's playing you is going to be in every game. Listen to what I'm saying here. If you run the football, your opponent will be in the game longer than if you sling it around, because that clock just runs now. It doesn't stop on a first down. So if you get a 12-play drive, you could eat up an entire quarter.
Yeah.
Texas could go down in 7-0 after one quarter. You could be fine with that?
Yeah.
21-0 after one quarter. No bueno.
No.
Yeah.
Not good.
That's big fact.
Yep.
See what I'm saying?
That's right. Yeah, 100%.
How about USC? That's their first Big Ten win. It's funny. They're a Big Ten team. I couldn't wrap my head around that. I'm sitting with my buddy and my wife and her friend, and I'm like, they're in the Big Ten.
Yeah,
They're in the freaking Big Ten. You watch the Big Ten commercial now, and
That's
it starts
great.
on the West Coast, and it ends in Jersey. They got the whole damn country.
Yeah, they do. It's crazy. I'm going to that game, USC and Michigan. I still can't fathom the fact that USC is coming to play in Ann Arbor. But not only are they coming, they're actually a part of the same conference. I played against them twice, couldn't get the wins, but
it's weird.
Now you got them in the conference. It's going to be fun, and I can't wait to go to a game out there. Now their stadium sucks.
Yeah.
But just to take that trip and go, that stadium's horrible. Like, I don't know what I was expecting when I played in the Coliseum. It was old and dingy. And
It's from like the 20s for crying out loud.
I didn't know that as a kid. I thought I was going to go out there and
Still looks great. It looks great.
I like the jersey. Now the jerseys were dope. The Hall of Fame jerseys.
Yeah, USC plays on the Big Ten Network this Saturday.
Wow.
But if you think about this weekend in college football, and even last weekend was a great weekend in college football. I thought there were a couple of marquee matchups. This week, there's only two ranked games. Obviously Michigan, Texas, a couple of top 10 teams, and then Tennessee plays NC State 14 versus 24. Everything else kind of stinks this weekend in college football.
Michigan State plays Maryland.
Everybody licking their wounds.
Yeah, I do like the 12-team playoff. I mean, if you drop a game early, you feel like you're alive, and I do think a 3-loss team is getting in the playoff.
Oh yeah,
I do believe that.
LSU is alive. They're alive.
LSU is absolutely alive.
They're alive.
And I don't think they have to play Alabama. I think they play Alabama at home, but I don't think they have to play Georgia this year.
No, they don't.
In the regular season. So yeah, they're alive. I mean, it's a great time to be alive.
Yeah. Have you been to a Notre Dame game?
I have been.
As a spectator.
I have been. It's
I know, Bray.
Tremendous.
You've been there.
I've been to one.
As a spectator, no, I would never.
I've been
I know
to
you
two
played.
actually.
Yeah, I played there a couple times.
Yeah. I'm thinking of going to my first one this
It's
year.
tremendous. You absolutely should.
It's fun.
October 12th, they play Stanford. That's the game I'm zeroing in on.
Nice, Tom.
I think that's a good
Touchdown,
one.
you and Touchdown Jesus.
Yeah, I'm looking. How do you not go to see that, right?
Yeah.
As a sports fan, how do you not go to South Bend and watch a game there? In October,
We lost
my
two
favorite
close
month of
ones.
the year.
Hey, we don't talk Michigan State a lot on this show. We leave that for other shows. But just a quick thought on Michigan State. Anybody got?
Yeah, I got something.
Yeah.
They look horrible. Aiden Childs looks overmatched.
Yeah.
Jonathan Smith, not sure yet. Not sure what the hell kind of offense he's running. But FAU should have won that game.
They should have.
Yes,
They
If
should
they
have
had a better
won.
quarterback, they would have.
And the referees kind of helped Michigan State at the end of that game. They did. But they got away with it. 16 points.
Yeah.
They should have lost 17-16, but they won 16-10. The crowd was excited to be there. It was a very hot night.
You were there,
night.
Maz?
I went late for that game.
Yeah.
I got there late.
That was Lily's debut.
Yeah, my kid is on the sidelines.
Yeah. No kidding.
She's everywhere.
Lily is a
She
Michigan
is
State.
everywhere.
This is her senior year, and she is with the athletic department, and she's got a paid internship with them, and she was holding up the 2-minute clock every play, for the commercials. So I had to go see my kid.
Man, Maz, I love it. I tell you, one of the best fathers I know.
Thank you, man.
Michigan State, I'm happy they got a win. It's good to start the season off a win. They haven't had a lot of wins up in East Lansing, so good they start a win, but they're not a good team. And I don't think this is going to be the coach for them. I think he's just so much. This is like when Gerald Ford became president after Nixon. It was like, look, you're so far left of what Nixon is. We'll just keep, or Jimmy Carter. Jimmy Carter. Jimmy Carter got in. It was like, look, you keep peace. You don't make any ruffling waves. Stay over there.
Look at Bray with some history lessons.
100%.
Right?
Jimmy Carter's a cool, peaceful guy, not too much. And then we went after Ronald Reagan after. I think that's what Jonathan Smith is for them. It's a stabilizer, and they'll look for their next guy after this.
I'll tell you, they play at Maryland this week.
They're
like a
crushed.
10-point dog.
Yeah.
Then they play in a couple of weeks at Boston College, who, by the way, last night under Bill O'Brien looked pretty darn good.
Yep.
Eagles. I don't know if that had a lot to do with Florida State being bad, but Boston College, I think when you look at the schedule this year, you're like, oh, Michigan State at Boston College, win. I think that's a lot. I mean, I think that turns a 6-6 season into a 5-7 season at Boston College game.
I had them penciled in for 7 wins this year, MSU. And I'm not too sure right
Florida Atlantic, Prairie View A&M.
Should be.
Iowa?
No, I'm not going to count that one.
They're losing. They're losing to Iowa.
Don't lose to
Indiana?
Iowa. Indiana,
They'll
they
lose to that one. Indiana got a good running back.
They could beat Indiana.
No.
Everyone beats
Illinois?
Indiana.
I'm giving them Indiana.
Right.
At Illinois.
Win.
Purdue?
Loss.
No.
Rutgers?
Loss.
That puts them at 4-8.
Oh, jeez.
Because I'm considering losses: Maryland, Boston College, Ohio State, Oregon, Iowa, Michigan, and then Rutgers.
They play Rutgers at night on the day after Thanksgiving. Black Friday night, they play them. They host them. It could be a blizzard in East Lansing for that Rutgers
No,
game.
probably not.
You don't think so?
No.
2 years ago, there was a blizzard.
They won that game. Penn State.
They won that
Penn
game.
State,
right? Yep.
I remember that.
Can I add a little wrinkle if you don't mind?
Please.
I mean, the head coach of Michigan State, Jonathan Smith, is the former Oregon State, head coach, and nobody knows the Civil War or how to win better at Oregon than Jonathan Smith. I think Michigan State will win at Oregon.
Yeah.
Because he knows how to play that game. He knows how to get his players hyped up against the Oregon Ducks. He's done it for, I think, 4 seasons.
That's a tall task.
Yeah.
I think the first win the signature win for Michigan State will be Jonathan Smith at Oregon.
Wow.
If Michigan State goes into Oregon and wins that game,
Yes.
A tall task.
It is.
And hold on.
No, never mind.
I like the way Pete broke it down, though.
Well, that's like saying that the Texas A&M coach, Mike Elko, who knew everything about the quarterback at Notre Dame now, who is his quarterback. What was the quarterback's name? I'm drawing a blank at Notre Dame.
Riley
Leonard.
Yeah.
They were together at Duke. Elko goes to A&M. Riley Leonard goes to Notre Dame. And they still lost the game. You know what I mean? I like the point. I like the point.
I don't think I'm that far off, is all I'm saying.
I like what you're saying, but it's just like back in the day. Like, look, they knew they couldn't create certain inventions. They knew what they were. They just didn't have the materials. They knew in the future they'd have them. They don't have the players to beat Oregon. So regardless if he knows like how to do it or not, they don't have the players to match up game for game with Oregon right now. So he'll go in there. Maybe they give him a boost. Maybe give him a little bit of help. But player for player, they just don't have what Oregon has there.
That's a long way away anyway, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Big ways away.
We'll talk about that in passing.
It's a good way to put it, though.
Absolutely. Good job, Pete. That's actually a good thought.
Thanks, guys.
Guys, turn our attention to the Detroit Lions next. It is game week. You'll hear from the head coach. You'll hear from the head coach on Jared Goff, on just the fact that they're starting the season. And we'll go through some predictions as well. But first, a message from KDK Law, dealing with divorce, child custody, visitation, other family law issues. Kevin and Catherine at KDK Law in Birmingham will have your back. 10-plus years of experience, 24/7 availability. Scan the QR code on the screen or call 248-971-0476. Say Woodward Sports sent you, and KDK will pay your filing fee. KDK Law, they've got your back.
And Guardian Alarm also has your back when that black and yellow sign is out in front of your house. It tells the bad guys one thing.
Stay out.
Let Guardian Alarm offer you customized solutions from real experts, 24/7 professional monitoring, and technology backed by people. This technology has been proven to work, and these people have been proven to care. So call 1-800.
Stay out.
That's 1-800.
Stay out.
Call them today. Tell them Woodward Sports sent you. We're coming right back.
Can't get enough Lions coverage? Make sure you catch all Woodward Sports shows every game day. Wake up with Woodward and Maine, giving you the latest insight into the Lions locker room and press conferences. Then join the Lions pregame show, highlighting key matchups, injuries, and what to watch for during the game. Follow all the ups and downs of the live game action with our Woodward Watch Party live on YouTube and woodwardsports.com. After the game, check out the instant fan and host reactions with the Lions postgame show. Every game, it's wall-to-wall, kneecap-biting, high-fiving, chest-pumping Lions coverage.
Hell yeah!
Only at Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Woodward Sports, let's go.
So just to get the heated steering wheel, I also had the spring for the bigger rims.
Yeah, that's how they get you. Those upgrades will cost you an arm and a leg every time.
Hey, new car crew, how'd it go this weekend? I got a great deal on mine.
How?
I went to Randy Wise, not those other guys. They got me in a great new ride, and they didn't break my budget. Hey, could you pass me the sugar?
How?
Never mind.
He made the wise choice.
Yep.
Make the wise choice at randywisechevy.com.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit Sports.
Oh, let me just say, I love Planet Fitness.
Trying out Planet Fitness, and dang, they got lots of equipment.
Not me getting a Planet Fitness membership just for the 24-hour perk.
Listen, the PF Black Card is worth every penny for this hydro massage. I'm a new man.
Did y'all know that the PF app has workouts you can do at home? Cheapest therapy I can find is Planet Fitness.
All the benefits, all for less. Planet Fitness, big fitness energy for all.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience from one of our talented stylists. Enjoy a precision haircut, hot lather neck shave, scalp and neck massage, and a hot towel treatment to top it off. Enter for your chance to win the $50,000 Perfect Bracket Challenge. With more than 25 Metro Detroit locations, there's always a Lady Jane's near you. Lady Jane's Haircut for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids, all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Dreaming of a new home but feeling the financial pinch? Well, you're lucky. We can Mark White and Associates, your trusted real estate experts, are here to help. Mark White and his team will pay up to $5,000 of your closing costs. $5,000. That's a lot of money, guys. Call Mark White and Associates today at 248-290-8242. Visit him online as well, markwhitesells.com. Call Mark White today, 248-290-8242 to make your dreams come true.
And don't forget about Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's exactly what is happening at 4:01 today. I'm going to be in that chair getting this tightened up a little
Feeling like
bit.
a guy.
My girl
See you out
Bethany
here, man.
over here. You know what time it is. Maybe a hot lather neck shave. Maybe a scalp massage today.
I need one of them.
How about
You
maybe
getting all
even
the
a
things.
shoulder rub? Oh,
The works.
a little shoulder rub.
All right, watch out now.
Dang.
Right.
Watch out now.
Man, you're going to need two.
Right, slow your
Jump
roll.
to Lady Jane's. That's what awesome is.
I'm going to Warren Beth.
Several locations around the Metro Detroit area, several more around the country. See one near you. Lady Jane's. It's wicked awesome. How about that? I'm looking forward to.
I don't blame you.
Excited.
Yeah.
That's like I look forward to going to the dentist too. You know what I mean? I get the gas.
Oh, you
know,
get gas?
Yeah, I get gas for the cleaning.
Out like a light.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. You get gas for cleaning?
Yeah.
No.
Teeth sensitivity a little bit. I'm not like out.
That's fantastic.
It's just a little.
Just a touch.
Something to cut the edge off.
I like that.
Just a little something to cut the edge off.
Yeah.
I got gassed when I had my eye done a couple weeks ago.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Were you out?
No, I was like, Twilight.
Oh, my God.
I was still able to talk.
Oh, man.
But it felt good.
Yeah, right. All right, guys. It is game week. Lions and Rams this week.
God. Hold on. Did you hear that Kelly Stafford
I did.
and her kids are not coming to this game?
She's scared.
I did.
She's scared.
She's scared. We scared her, I think. Those T-shirts that you guys put out.
Hey, it is.
I think also, too, like, what is there to come for at this point? You know what I'm saying? Like, you played already, you lost last year in the playoffs.
This is their home.
Yeah.
This was their home.
It was. And maybe they're moving on in the past. I feel like now, to a certain extent, a lot of Lions fans are trying to keep the Detroit versus Kelly Stafford thing. Look, she's staying. They had to play. They played her last year. I think they're on to bigger things. They're like, look, you know what? Played, we lost. I made up some stuff. They caught me in my lie. The boo them kids. I had a bad summer anyway. Talking about I slept with his backup quarterback.
Yeah.
So I think she's chilling.
Yeah.
I think she's chilling.
But that's part of the nuance of the Boo Them Kids shirt.
Yeah.
Is because the fact that she really thought 60,000 people on the most important night in Lions history was there to boo her children is absolutely ridiculous. So, I mean, good for her. She made the decision to keep the kids away, but we never booed your children. That was my whole thing about it.
I'm tired of hearing her name, to be honest.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it's like I agree with you a little bit. I mean, God bless her. And look, she's tremendous. When we did Stuff a Studio and she pulled up with a U-Haul truck.
She's a nice girl.
She's a nice person. I don't have anything bad to say about Kelly Stafford other than I disagree with some of the things that she says and does. I mean, that was she's a great person. This will always be home. But I disagree about the nobody booed your kids. Nobody booed anybody. Your kids are Detroiters, born and raised. So,
and we booed Stafford as a competitor.
Absolutely,
it wasn't nothing personal against him either.
Okay, so now that she's not coming, does Stafford get a show?
No, he gets
scoreboard. Here's a game.
No.
Oh no, God no!
It's week one of the new season. No, not you.
I think that was a question too for a lot of people. You know, what will the reaction be to Stafford from the organization itself? Was this because it's a playoff game? You're not going to do something for him? You know, I mean, we see this all the time. Players go back to their. I mean, just off the top of my head, Patrick Kane going back to Chicago, big scoreboard thing and
Stanley
moment,
Cups.
hand.
But you do that for somebody that's never even won a playoff game here?
Oh, dude, he's one of the great Lions of all time.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm not disputing that. At the end of his career, sure, we'll welcome you back. We'll do a whole tribute. But as of right now, as you're still an active competitor, me personally, I can't do it.
Yeah, no, not as long as he's actively playing.
I believe if you do that and take care of him like I think you should, I do believe that he should get a round of applause. I do believe they should show some love. I think it takes the edge off of him, to be perfectly honest. I think it would be in the Lions' best interest to show him some love. Yes.
What is that doing for us?
Let's let him feel good.
What is that doing for us? You said it's in our best interest. What is that doing for us, though?
He's coming for blood, man.
Okay.
A lot of people believe the LA Rams are.
He can come for blood. We have a Super Bowl caliber team. I'm not scared of Matt Stafford.
And they have a very good. They have a playoff team that could win a Super Bowl.
Are you scared of Matthew Stafford?
Yes, I'm scared of the Rams.
I saw. I don't know if it was Stephen A. Smith or one of the guys on ESPN today. It might even have been Stephen A. Smith. Had maybe it wasn't Stephen A. But it was the 2 seed. The Rams. That's how good they had them this year. So this is going to be a barn burner week 1. We'll see what happens. But they are getting going this week. Dan Campbell, very excited about that. Talked about the excitement level for him and the team yesterday.
You know, we're excited. I think everybody's pretty excited. So we're excited to have the roster pretty much set here, and it's the guys we want to go to war with, and and we have a very good opponent coming up on Sunday Night Football at our place. It just doesn't really get any better.
It's exactly. I love that shirt, Anti-Fragile too.
Yeah,
that is so great, Anti-Fragile. And, Lions fans, obviously a big story in this one as well, because the last time that a game was played at Ford Field, I mean, the noise level was insane. Alex Anzalone talked about the Lions and the crowd and what the Rams will expect and what the Lions will expect this week as well.
Starters in playing the preseason, and that last preseason home game, and definitely cool, and kind of got the juices flowing as far as the excitement and just getting in front of the fans, playing defense. There's really nothing better than playing here in front of the fans. So
before I get to Baby Thor, I want to go back to something that you said about Dan Campbell. You see the shirt he was wearing, right? He said anti-fragile. What I love about the Lions, too, is they don't mind telling people, the media, the public, the media sites, outlets, this is who we are. They write it on their shirt, whether it was grit, whether it was villain, whether it's,
anti-fragile.
Anti-fragile. Like, a lot of times, teams that have a little something, they'll have a little saying or something that this is what the theme of this season is, but it's in the locker room. It's on a little rubber band or something like that. You'll see it when you go to your team meetings. It'll be written on the board. But they take it to the public. It's like, no, this is who we are this year. We're grit. We're villains. We're anti-fragile. I love it all. Getting to Thor, he does an amazing job of being able to be that player for them that brings the energy, brings the excitement, brings the joy, but plays within the lines. He's able to do a good job of balancing those levels, because a lot of times people get up, man, and they get so excited. They don't know how that leads to penalties, that leads to missed calls and things like that. He does a good job wearing those emotions on his sleeve. But he's right. This place is going to be rocking and rolling. He echoes the same thing, Dan Campbell. I can't wait to see what it is. It's setting up. Man, I think this Sunday night, or Sunday at 4.
Sunday at 8 o'clock.
Oh, yeah, 8 prime time, baby.
This Sunday is setting up to be an amazing story. But the Lions, they're prime time ready. I mean, how many have they won on prime time?
A lot.
5 or 6?
Yeah.
So
I can't wait, man.
Yeah, I can't wait. And one of the great things,
can't believe
too.
It's here, actually.
I know. It doesn't feel like it. Right. I don't know why it doesn't feel like it, but it doesn't feel like it yet. One of the great things, the Lions got through training camp in the preseason clean. Here's what Dan Campbell had to say about the injuries and who, if anybody, there's concern about for Sunday night.
Yeah, if he'd be the only one right now who's still not sure, still not sure on him. We're going to try to get him moving around a little bit today and tomorrow and see where he's at. Everybody else, we're good.
Everybody else were good, and if you didn't catch it in the beginning, it's Ifeatu Melifonwu. He's the only one that has some concerns about not even playing. And again, he didn't even rule him out, by the way. And if there's one position probably that you could afford an injury or somebody to not be 100%, you just hold them out, it's that defensive backfield.
He didn't say anything about DJ Reader either.
Oh, I didn't pick that up. Good on you, Maz.
Yeah.
Good on you.
He might get a few downs.
That's huge.
He might get a few.
I'm looking for him to get a few downs. Look, we brought him here to be the catalyst on that defensive line. He said he was injured, said he was coming off some injuries, but they would do the things necessary to get him ready. There's a lot riding on this. Don't want to bring him in too much, but I do want to see him. I do think he deserves to play in the first game.
You're the person to ask about this.
Yeah.
You've gone through an injury. How quickly does it take to get into football shape? There's obviously with Reader, he hasn't done anything. At least that's what we were told anyway. And again, just going by what we were told, hasn't done any football-related activities. And it's one thing to be in shape, but how about football shape? Those are two very different things.
3 weeks.
3 weeks.
3 weeks. 3 weeks to get in football shape, because the thing that you can't emulate is carrying your pads. Nobody's working on wearing their pads, and even in that, it's just the little things, man. It's carrying your pads, doing a 2-minute drill, carrying your pads, doing first down, third down, having some variations of skill position, and going through a practice, and then being tired and doing that again and doing that again, going through the anxiety of a game. Like, you get tired. Like, people think I'm joking when I say you have to warm up super hard in the warm-ups so that you can get through that first win. Because once the second win comes, that's really when the game starts for players in probably every sport. But in the NFL, you got to get going. And to feel that, it takes a week to get used to that. Okay, this is good, and going through the motion. So I think 3 weeks he'll play before then, but he'll be in tip-top shape. Week 3, week 4, start to see him turn the corner.
Guys, I want to play this last piece of sound from Dan Campbell for today. I want to have some discussion about it, because one guy we have not talked about for 2 months, it feels like, is Jared Goff.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we talk about everybody other than Jared Goff. Here's what Dan Campbell had to say about the Lions quarterback.
Guy who, behind center is going to do what we ask him to do, man. We take care of him. He'll take care of the football. He's going to move it. He'll be efficient, and he'll be our captain, and that's at the least. And what we got was so much more. So we got that, and through the years, these last 3 years, he's just continued to grow and gotten better and gotten better. And honestly, I think he just wants more, and he continues to challenge himself. And the more he does that, the more we load him up. The more we ask him to do, the more we put on his plate because he can handle it and he wants it. And so, man, where he's able to go, our offense is able.
Is there a guy that you can think of that feels like he's so far, like when he came here, just like this guy's not one of us, to being everything we're about? You know what I mean?
He gets his name chanted at other sporting events.
I mean, this guy, when this guy came to Detroit, we thought he was everything that was anti-Detroit.
Yeah.
Lo and behold, this guy is everything that we're about. Embodies who we are as a city.
Yeah.
Head down, eyes forward, works his tail off, executes, good guy. I mean, just everything about him. Leader. Just I cannot
gorgeous wife
say enough things positively about Jared Goff. And I want this for him.
Me too.
Yes.
I want this for him so bad.
Yeah, I have one, but I think it's going to get lost on who the player is. Once I say the player's name, people are going to get so caught on how good that player was. He's a Hall of Famer. And I think it's Jerome Bettis. Jerome Bettis, longtime friend of mine. He was never L.A. He was not the Los Angeles Rams. I remember he got drafted. My dad used to be like a mentor to him. He was never L.A. He was never the Rams. He was a Detroit guy. He was grit. He was guts. He brought his lunch pail every day. He went to Pittsburgh. Right away, you knew what time it was. And I think it took Jared Goff the time to get there. But I think it's match made in heaven in terms of what he's been able to do, He's a quiet guy. But still, everybody around the locker room, everybody around the city knows he's locked into Detroit.
If you're a sports fan, an NFL fan, and you can't root for this guy, there's something wrong with you.
Right.
There's a guy that was literally thrown away to the garbage heap from a Super Bowl team with a big shot coach. Let's just throw him away to the Detroit Lions with this goofball, Dan Campbell, that's just coming in, who wants to bite kneecaps. The worst team in sports history, one of them. Let's do that. And here he is, the first quarterback in Lions history to win 2 home playoff games in the Super Bowl era. And come this freaking close to taking him to the Super Bowl. How do you not root for that guy? I want him to win so badly that I could taste it for him.
Ryan, quick question. Why do you think it is that people kind of overlook and ignore Jared Goff's resume and the space that he's at? Like, you're talking about a guy that went to Super Bowl years ago, and then you're talking about a guy and what he's done. He won 2 playoff games for Detroit Lions. We haven't won that 1957. What is it about him that keeps him 16 on people's list, 12 on people's list, or overlook him?
Right.
Big spec.
One, he's quiet. 2, he doesn't do anything that jumps off the page.
He's not
at
flashy.
you,
Yeah.
right? It's you watch him play, and he just does exactly what's asked of him.
Yeah.
If you need him to throw a 15-yard out, he's going to hit the. Accuracy really isn't that sexy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
he needs a clean pocket.
Yeah,
How about that?
Okay.
He don't run.
Most
right,
quarterbacks
He can't
do.
scramble.
Right.
He's just a drop-back quarterback that needs you to block for him. But guess what? When you block for him, he's that number 1 pick that the Rams took.
He's a guy that can excel with a good team.
That's it.
Yeah.
And that's
Most quarterbacks. There's a handful of
There you
quarterbacks
go.
that you don't have to do that with.
that part. That part.
Remember when he used to fumble?
You know?
Yeah.
Remember those days? Those days are over. He's learned, since he's come here to Detroit, he's learned to hold on to that football and not turn it over. That's pretty good.
I just hope that whoever's next up, and whether it's Mark Brunell, who I played with when I was in New York, or whoever it is, or maybe on the staff, we don't know him. I hope that it's just it's somebody that's working hand in hand with Jared Goff right now because I really want Jared Goff to stay this way, and I don't want it to be a thing where it was because of Ben Johnson. We've seen this before where, an offensive coordinator leave and it just kind of changed. Look at Josh Allen.
No, I get it.
Yeah, you're talking about a guy that was elite. People were trying to call him better than Patrick Mahomes. Brian Daboll leaves, and all of a sudden he's just a good quarterback. I hope that it extends, and I think the Lions do a good job of understanding who they are. So I think they're doing that now, but I just hope so.
Hey, we got a couple of super chats. A good friend of ours from the loves the Lions post-game and pre-game show, Freddie Phelps.
Shout out.
He put out some money. I'm booing the ish out of Stafford on Sunday.
Yes.
And the real
Talk
Kate
about
Collins, 77, some money. He puts his money where his mouth is. Great show, fellas. Go Lions, go Blue, Tigers, and Red Wings, too. Thank you.
We appreciate you both.
Too.
That's right. We appreciate you both. We appreciate everybody in the chat as well. It's very simple, guys. This season, you could talk about the organization, how great it is, and you could talk about how great the roster is. This season will go as far as Jared Goff takes them.
Yep.
It's as simple as that. And I just think this is the right guy for the job, and I think this is going to be one of those special years that we'll remember for a long time around here in these parts. Break time. I want to get to our predictions. We're going to have one of us do the predictions next. We're going to hammer that out during the break, okay? We'll hammer that out during the break. I feel like we should almost do Maz's because his is right here on my rundown. In my face.
Plus, he's excited.
He's
excited to get this.
Maz, all right, we've just done it. Maz's season predictions for the Detroit Lions. That's coming up next.
Idea.
But first, a message from us here at Woodward Sports.
That's right, everybody. Don't forget, on the Sunday, NFL Sunday game days, you can catch Woodward and Maine, the game day show, 8 to 9 a.m. right here on Woodward Sports, brought to you by Sabbath Coffee and Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey. And also after Woodward and Maine with Matthew Broder and the great Terry Foster, you can catch the Lions pregame show with Neil Rule and Sean Belegian live from the second best bar, 42 Watson Street in Detroit, Michigan. For every Lions game day, you can catch us doing all of the predictions for the upcoming game and also some fantasy as well. You can check out Woodward and Maine, and then followed by the pregame show on Football Sundays right here on Detroit's #1 sports network, and that would be Woodward Sports. Hey, Maz, it is time for Premier Pet once I switch the camera, my friend.
All right.
Go ahead.
You know it. It's hands down Michigan's best pet store. It's PremierPetSupply.com. Family owned and operated for over 30 years. 13 Metro Detroit locations. Over 60 brands of food at the lowest prices available. Curbside delivery if you need it. And nutritionists on call for any questions about your beloved pet. Give your pet the best. Don't settle for less. It's PremierPetSupply.com.
It's bear hunting season, and Dan Campbell is hungry for some kneecaps.
If you can just get a hold of them and you start dragging their ass out to the deep, dark abyss, you can drown them.
The Kings of the North are back for another year of the brand new Lions. Make sure you're locked in to Detroit's #1 sports network for all the news and info on your Detroit Lions.
Woodward Sports, let's go.
Yo, let me just say, I love Planet Fitness.
Try out Planet Fitness and dang, they got lots of equipment.
Not me getting a Planet Fitness membership just for the 24-hour perk.
Listen, the PF Black Card is worth every penny for this hydro massage. I'm a new man.
Did y'all know that the PF app has workouts you can do at home? Cheapest therapy I can find is Planet Fitness.
All the benefits, all for less. Planet Fitness, big fitness energy for all.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit Sports.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience from one of our talented stylists. Enjoy a precision haircut, hot lather neck shave, scalp and neck massage, and a hot towel treatment to top it off. Enter for your chance to win the $50,000 Perfect Bracket Challenge. With more than 25 Metro Detroit locations, there's always a Lady Jane's near you. Lady Jane's Haircut for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids, all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Fans, don't miss our injury experts with Dr. Jeff Pierce of Michigan Sports and Spine. Join Dr. Pierce every Tuesday on Big D Energy. He joins us here on Thursdays. Trust the guide at DMAC and Braylon Trust. Dr. Jeff Pierce. For more information, visit MichiganSportsandSpine.com and call him at 248-426-9944. Dr. Jeff Pierce.
Nashville hot. That's where you need to be, and it's only at Soroki's. The crispy chicken pizza, the crispy chicken tenders, and the sandwich. But don't forget the fries as well. You gotta come enjoy that delicious heat. That's what they have. That's what they're selling, but only for a limited time. If that's too hot for you, then you go down to the crispy chicken, the pizzas, the fresh salads, and the sides. Maz, what do you love? The fountain drinks.
You know it,
guessed
man.
100%. Soroki's is popping up all over the place for a reason. You better take advantage, man.
Get them biscuits.
All right, here we go, gang. It is the time of the year where we go through our season predictions. Today, it's Tom Mazaway's turn to go through. KG, love the music.
Yes, I got you.
Here we go, Tom Mazaway.
All right, pal. How you want me to do it? You want to call the game out to me, or you want me just to say?
Nope, I want you to go game by game predictions.
All right, here we go, Pete. We'll start with our regular season. We're going to go with a win over the Rams. I've got them a 3-point win. I'll just say win or loss. I've got a win over the Rams. I've got a win over the Bucs in week number 2. I've got a week 3 win on the road against the Cardinals. I got 24-20, by the way. I got the Lions beating the Seahawks on Monday Night Football.
Revenge game.
I got the Lions beating the Cowboys in Arlington to go to the break at 5-0. All right, they get their little timeout in week number 6. They come out of there and they go to the Vikings and they beat the Vikings 28-20. Here's Lions are now 6-0. I've got the Lions going 7-0 to beat the Titans 27-14. Ryan's up-and-coming team, the Tennessee Titans.
Wow.
Here comes their first loss. They come out of that
Here you go.
at Green Bay. And the Packers are going to win by 3. Packers are going to beat the Lions.
Your favorite team.
The following week at the Houston Texans, I've got to go with the young upstart Texans to beat the Lions. And these are all close games, guys.
Close.
No one's getting blown out in these games. So the Lions have 2 losses in a row. But then what's so good about it? They come home for the Jacksonville Jaguars. They will beat the Jags. They go to the Colts, who reside in the AFC South as well. And the Colts are going to beat them 24-17. Then they come home. It's Thanksgiving, folks. And it's time to pay back the Bears.
Yes.
And that's exactly what they're going to do. 31-27. They win it on Thanksgiving Day.
First one in 7 years.
And then the following Thursday night on national television, they beat the Packers at Ford Field 30-24. Then the Buffalo Bills come into town. And the Lions go back. They remember, oh, man, what happened a couple of Thanksgivings ago? They beat us. They should not have beat us. The Lions beat the Bills this time, 31-28. But then they go to the Colts. For the first time in a long time, they go outside the Soldier Field. And the upstart Bears, trying to get in the playoffs for the first time in forever, beat the Lions close, 24-23. Dan Campbell goes for 2 and misses it. The 49ers welcome the Lions to the West Coast. It's a rematch of the NFC Championship games, and I got the Lions losing another tough one, 28-24.
Not again.
But they come home and they beat the Vikings to sweep the season series 35-24, which makes them 12-5 on the regular season. Good enough to win the NFC North.
12-5 back-to-back losses. I noticed there, week 16, week 17. The Lions have not lost back-to-back games since October of 22.
Yes.
Yep.
I hope I'm wrong. I hope they go 17-0.
Yeah, that's something.
I've got all their losses are close, guys. They ain't getting blown out by anybody. So that takes us to what next now?
Let me ask you a question.
Please
Of your wins, which one was the hardest to decide? And of your losses, which one was hard to decide?
My win that I had a hard time with was beating the Rams in week 1.
Okay, I figured.
My second tough one was losing to the 49ers, but winning to beat the Packers again.
Gotcha.
Believe it or not, was a hard one for me.
Okay.
That's funny. As I struggled what was going to happen, and I'll share mine pretty soon. But the Rams was the game that I went back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And by the time I give mine, I still might change it. I don't know, but that's. Okay. I really like it, Maz. I really like it.
I've got my division winners.
7-0 is a really.
It is. It's a tough start.
Yeah.
I mean, have they ever gone 7-0?
I don't believe so. No,
I don't think so.
Believe 5-0 is the max.
Would this make them the 2 or 3 seed then?
Oh,
no, not the 1 seed.
Not
at 12.
Well, let's see.
They're going to be a 2 or 3. Here we go. My division winners. We'll start with the AFC, Pete.
AFC
division winners. I've got the Jets winning the East, the Browns winning the North, the Texans winning the South, and the Chiefs winning the West.
Okay.
My wild card teams, the Dolphins, the Bengals, and the Ravens.
7 seed.
Wild card. Sheesh.
And my winner, the Ravens at the Jets for the AFC Championship. And the Ravens are going to the Super Bowl.
All right, leave this up for a moment because this is what I have the most fun examining.
Okay, I got you.
Okay, this is what I have the most fun examining on everybody's. If those are the teams that are in,
the teams that are out,
who are the teams that are out?
Yes.
So I don't see Buffalo on there.
Out.
I don't see. Oh, I do see Miami on there. I don't see Cincinnati. I do see Cincinnati. Pittsburgh, no.
I got 3 from the North.
I don't see the Chargers.
Chargers are out.
Okay. Okay, you got 3 from the North.
I got the Colts out because I know that's a team everyone likes.
Yeah.
I got your Titans out. The only AFC South team that's going to get in is the Texans.
Yeah. And you got Baltimore as a 7 seed going on the road in the playoffs?
I do. I got the Browns winning the division.
So you've got Baltimore beating Cleveland essentially in the first round.
Well, this is how you wanted us to do it.
Yeah, this is exactly right. This is perfect.
I didn't do matchups.
No,
I just did who's advancing.
This is perfect.
Yep.
This is perfect. And I love it. I love it. Baltimore. This has to be Baltimore's year, doesn't it?
It has to be.
I mean, let's be honest.
That's a disappointment.
You have the 2 teams that are playing a 2 teams that are playing a 1-goal season.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right. Yes.
Like each of these guys is playing for 1 season.
Mm-hmm.
I truly believe that.
The Ravens were the runner-up last year in the AFC, and maybe they might be playing the runner-up of the other conference in the Super Bowl.
I truly believe this. Bray, what are your thoughts on this?
I like it. I can't say too much because it reveals kind of what I am, but I don't have a problem with it. The Jets are in a division right now that it's pretty much up for grabs. It's going to be Miami. They usually falter around December. Buffalo, I don't like them. I've said that.
Yeah.
The Browns, that was interesting, man.
Yeah.
The Browns.
I'm sticking with them.
That's fine. I said it's just interesting. You look at what the Ravens have been, and they haven't necessarily closed the door, but the Ravens are about as consistent as you can come as it relates to a division winner. So, maybe this is the year. Ryan keeps talking about Deshaun Watson, and he thinks it's going to be a good year for him. So, if that's the case, I don't mind it. Houston, I love Houston. Kansas City, 100%.
Yeah.
And I think the most intriguing team in the AFC is the Bengals. And the reason why I think that is because when Joe Burrow is Joe Burrowing, there's only one person better. And everybody's talking about Jamar Chase.
Yeah.
They got a lot of
Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase have played together the last 6 years.
Yeah,
Pause. So
they got to protect that man, though.
100%. They know each other. When you know little things, you don't have to necessarily be in there. And Jamar's an elite receiver. So I think a lot is being made of that. They got T. Higgins already, Jamar Chase. They'll be fine.
All right, Maz, NFC.
My NFC division winners, in order: the Philadelphia Eagles,
top seed;
the Lions, the Falcons win the South,
of course,
and the 49ers repeat in the West.
Okay.
My wild cards: Packers, Bears, Rams.
You wanted the Bears and they're bad.
They're getting in. My championship game: Lions and Eagles. Lions are going to the Super Bowl to face the Ravens. My 2 runners-up from last year will face each other in the Super Bowl.
Lions over the Ravens, you have.
Yes, I do.
Okay. That's so Lions winning the Super Bowl. Go back Thank you, Pete.
Yes.
Right on the same page. I think it was easier as you go through this process. It was much easier to pick NFC teams for the playoffs than AFC teams for the playoffs for me.
Agreed. But if you put the Bears in, like I have them in, you're knocking off a couple of other teams that maybe should be in there. I've got 3 from the North on both leagues getting in. I think those are the 2 best divisions in football.
One of the things you do not have in here, as I'm looking at it, you don't have a team that finished in last place the year before that won a division championship, which I think it's like 18 of the last 19 years.
I do have the Browns getting in, though.
You do? Well, the Browns, you have the Bengals getting in. You have the Bengals. Bengals finished last.
Right.
They'll get in the playoffs. Bears finish last. They'll get in the playoffs. So that I think that counts, actually.
And where did the Browns finish last year? They got
Browns
in.
won they won a playoff game, I thought.
They're a repeat. I left the Cowboys out.
I mean, if you look at
I left the Cowboys out.
That's true.
Yeah, well, they fraudulent.
I almost think Jerry Jones is going to tank the season. Yeah. So he can get Shedeur Sanders.
I believe it.
I almost believe that's going to be the case.
I believe it.
I already said it was 2 teams this year that you can absolutely forget about.
Yep.
One was the Buffalo Bills, and the other was the Dallas
And I
Cowboys.
followed your footsteps.
You did.
Yep.
I just think I'm out on both those teams, and I agree with you 100%. I think Jerry is at his wits' end. Jerry.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
See now.
I love it. I love it, Maz. I think you did a really nice job.
It's fun.
Hard
isn't
to
it?
argue.
It's so fun.
Yeah, it is.
Good job.
I originally, man, I'm like the Lions. The over-under's 10.5. 10 or 11. That's always what you think about. And I got them winning 12. Now, part of me is like, they're going to be right on that number. But when I went up and down that schedule, I could not give them a loss where I didn't. I had a hard time giving them losses, to be honest with you.
And so one of the things that I think you have to consider when you look at games on paper is I do believe the Lions are going to be better than every team they play. There's not a team that the Lions will play on their 2024 schedule in the regular season that I think has a better roster than the Detroit Lions. Not one. And that includes San Francisco in the end. Something is telling me that San Francisco is not that team this year. Something is telling me that. Could be wrong.
They've got issues, man. You saw what happened over the weekend. Pearsall gets shot for crying out loud on his way to an autograph signing. A guy was going after his Rolex. He fought him. The kid is lucky. He got shot in the chest.
He's going to miss 4 weeks. It's unbelievable.
Look at this video, man. Look at this video in San Francisco.
It was the quote from his mom that was really scary, which she said that the bullet went straight through and just missed his lungs and his heart.
Yeah, went right out his back.
It's a miracle.
Yeah. It could have been
Look
much
at this
worse.
guy.
Look at this poor
lost
guy.
his life.
This is their top draft pick.
Yeah.
This is happening too much. This is in San Francisco, in a really
San
posh
Francisco's
area.
dead, man.
Dead.
What happened to him?
Dead.
And then Trent Williams is holding out, and there's a good chance that their best player.
He signed. Tommy. He signed
today.
Missed
Agreed
it.
today.
Yeah, he
Sorry.
signed.
Migraine day. Did not see that.
No. Yeah,
Fresh
today.
news. Yeah, fresh
Yeah,
news.
today he's
They
getting
got
the
it
deal
done,
done.
yeah.
I think one of the big topics in the NFL too, and maybe we could go through the NFL next, guys, is Braylon, you had mentioned Jamar Chase.
Yeah.
He says he's willing to sit out the entire season. He's got 2 years left on his deal. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
So let's go through.
He wants 1 penny more than
Justin
One
Jefferson.
penny.
Yeah.
1 penny, he said.
We can talk about that.
Yeah, we'll do that next. But first, a message from
the
Boys
best
and
youth
Girls Club.
football league in Metro Detroit, the Boys and Girls Club of Southeast Michigan's 3C Sports League. It offers youth ages 5 to 14 a chance to play in these leagues or cheer in these leagues. And don't worry, ladies and gentlemen, because all the coaches are vetted. They are done background checks on. So your kids are in good hands. Look, this league is great. And also, at the end of it, they get a chance to play in Ford Field for the championship. And you're talking about Detroit, Belleville, Highland Park, and East Point, man. You hear your city, you hear those names, and you want to join up. Get your kids off the couch. Put the youth back in youth sports. You know how you sign up for this? It's very simple. BGCSM.org. That's where you register. 3C.
And I got to be real with y'all. Nobody is going to have merch like Bray. I mean, Bray, he just got connections. He got all this, all the fancy stuff, the bells and whistles. But if you want the next best thing in sports merch, go to woodwardsports.com, man. They got everything you need Detroit sports related. Lions, Red Wings, Tigers, you name it, we got it, man. Hoodies, tees, hats, everything guaranteed to turn heads, but only if you go to woodwardsports.com and click that shop tab. Do it now.
Can't get enough Lions coverage? Make sure you catch all Woodward sports shows every game day. Wake up with Woodward and Maine, giving you the latest insight into the Lions locker room and press conferences. Then join the Lions pregame show, highlighting key matchups, injuries, and what to watch for during the game. Follow all the ups and downs of the live game action with our Woodward Watch Party live on YouTube and woodwardsports.com. After the game, check out the instant fan and host reactions with the Lions postgame show. Every game, it's wall-to-wall, kneecap-biting, high-fiving, chest-pumping Lions coverage. Hell yeah! Only at Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Woodward Sports, let's go.
Braylon Edwards here, Premier Pet Supply. Man, just looking around, who's got it better than pets? Come on, a baby stroller for Coda? A chef for Lola? Really? You don't have to tell me who the real boss here is. Who's got it better than pets? Nobody, especially here at Premier Pet Supply. For over 30 years and more than 13 locations, Premier Pet Supply has everything that your pet can dream of, and guess what? It's all under one roof. Premier Pet Supply, family owned, operated, and proud to call Metro Detroit home. Check out premierpetsupply.com or scan the QR code today. Who's got it better than pets?
Nobody! A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit sports.
Yo, let me just say, I love Planet Fitness.
Trying out Planet Fitness and dang, they got lots of equipment.
Not me getting a Planet Fitness membership just for the 24-hour perk.
Listen, the PF Black Card is worth every penny for this hydro massage. I'm a new man.
Did y'all know that the PF app has workouts you can do at home? Cheapest therapy I can find is Planet Fitness.
All the benefits, all for less. Planet Fitness, big fitness energy for all.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience from one of our talented stylists. Enjoy a precision haircut, hot lather neck shave, scalp and neck massage, and a hot towel treatment to top it off. Enter for your chance to win the $50,000 Perfect Bracket Challenge. With more than 25 Metro Detroit locations, there's always a Lady Jane's near you. Lady Jane's Haircut for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome.
The countdown to kickoff is here. Your Detroit Lions are ready for another season of grit. Woodward Sports is your #1 destination for all breaking news and Lions coverage. We are Detroit's #1 sports network. We are Woodward Sports.
How would you like to play with a legend like Darren McCarty, Kirk Gibson, Calvin Johnson, or even the legend Braylon Edwards? See, I showed you some love this time. I got you this time. God, man, it's the Randy Wise Celebrity Golf Tour. Register today and you can play like a VIP, but those spots are shrinking fast. Golf season's almost over. Go to woodwardsports.com or scan that QR code right above my head. When it comes to your next car or truck, make the wise decision. That's Randy Wise Automotive. And make the wise decision and listen to the best coverage in the city of Detroit. It is the watch party with the heavyweights. Live from Hayes Social every weekend in Shelby Township. You tune in for their reactions to the game, predictions, everything that they got going on, and the post-game show with Stick and Anson. Watch their overreactions, and you can come visit. You can also call in to Hayes Social as well. Both are sponsored by Sabbath Coffee, and it is on the #1 sports network in Detroit. That is Woodward Sports.
And here we are.
Yeah.
And we're back.
Here we are, gang. Here we are. Guys, one of the big stories to look for in the NFL, and I think this is big if you are in a survivor situation, because Cincinnati is the most picked survivor team for week 1. And they've got a big-time situation brewing with Jamar Chase, one of the best wide receivers in the league. He did not practice today again. He is demanding a new contract, wants to be paid 1 penny more than Justin Jefferson. He's got 2 years left on his deal, and he may not play this week. It is less than a week before the game. Said he wants his money, he wants his contract. So keep an eye on that. What do you make of Jamar Chase saying, want to get paid?
You look at Justin Jefferson over his first 3 years, 268 catches, 330 catches, 4,500 yards, 25 touchdowns. You look at Jamar Chase over his first 3 years, 268 catches, just under 4,000 yards, and 29 touchdowns, which is actually 5 more than Justin Jefferson has through 4 seasons. Look, he's a phenomenal player. Like Joe Burrow came out and said it when they were at LSU. He said he was a better player than Justin Jefferson, and he has backed it up. Every time he's gotten a chance to do something, he's done something. You saw last year, people started talking about him the game before. I can't remember the game they played. Remember, man, they started talking about him, or it's just Jamar Chase has to show up. He has to show out. What do you want out there to do the next week? He had 224 yards and 3 touchdowns. He showed you this is what he is. Remember him in that Super Bowl? Remember how electric he was in the playoffs that year and whenever he's had a chance. So he's proven who he is. Like, this is kind of coming back to, Amon-Ra St. Brown and the Detroit Lions and how they do things. And I understand there's an extra year with those guys, but pay them when you know. This guy helped you win. Like, all the dreams and aspirations that the Cincinnati Bengals franchise have, please believe they're tied up with Jamar Chase as a huge part of it. So, when you pay the guy, let's get rocking and rolling. Like, he's as elite as they say.
Listen, man, this is why the Lions do business the way they do it, right? I'm the one that always complains when they don't sign free agents. There's a reason for it, because they're paying their guys and they're paying them well ahead of the curve. They're setting, actually, the market. St. Brown was one of the first receivers signed.
Yeah.
You don't see the things that are going through, what other teams are going through here in Detroit anymore. This is a new way to run a franchise. Brad Holmes and his staff has perfected the way to run an NFL franchise.
And Ray Agnew talked about this, by the way, at the podium a couple of days ago. He said, we do this, one, because we want to take care of our players and do right by them. But 2, they do right by us. So we want to take care of them, and that resonates around the league.
Yeah, 100%. And when you wait, man, you hit the nail on the head. Look, Jamar Chase has been in the Super Bowl. He's been All-Pro. 2 out of 3 seasons that he's playing already. He's been All-Pro. He's been in the Super Bowl. He's contributed.
Take care of him.
100%. Like, Joe
Bengals
Burrow.
are cheap. They're a cheap franchise.
Joe
the
Burrow
Brown families, they're cheap.
You got Jamar Chase instead of Penei Sewell. You didn't block.
That's a great point, man.
You didn't block you did not block for Joe Burrow because Joe Burrow believed in Jamar Chase. Now all of a sudden you want to change it? Man, you know when you know. Now CeeDee Lamb got paid. Justin Jefferson got paid. And now here you are sitting at the crossroads. And it's also because of what Ray Agnew said. Jamar Chase doesn't feel appreciated, so now he wants to be petty and saying, let me get a penny more than my boy that I've known, go Tigers. If you would have paid him back in the day, you wouldn't have that. So I think based on where he's gone, even with injury, Jamar Chase has had 1,000 yards. He's shown you that he's locked in as a player. Jerry Jones, he had to pull the trigger with CeeDee Lamb. You're going to have to pull the trigger. Justin Jefferson and Minnesota Vikings. This is a wide receiver-driven league at this current point. The best time that they've ever had for wide receivers and the most money that they've ever been worth. I'm sorry you don't like to spend money down there, Brown family, but this is just what it is. It's the cost of doing business.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, you got anything else in the NFL, man?
Hey, in 2 days, we've got football. 2 days away from a doubleheader. Thursday night football in Kansas City. It's the Ravens and the Chiefs, followed by that game in Brazil, which is a fantastic matchup, the Eagles and the Packers. So we got those 2 games. Now, that takes us to the game in Brazil on Friday night. First time we're going to get Friday night football. And it takes us to Darius Slay. Darius Slay's got his own little podcast. He goes on there and he says what everyone's been telling him about Brazil.
Week 1, I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait. But, man, I do not want to go to Brazil. You want to know why? I'm here to tell you why. They already told us not to leave the hotel. They told us we can't do too much going on because the crime rate is crazy. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, NFL, why y'all want to send us somewhere with the crime rate this high? And like, we out the country. So, the first thing people think is like something terrible can possibly happen. I told my family, do not come down there because, I'm not going to be nowhere to be found. Really, I'm going to be in a hotel chilling, minding my business, playing my game after a long 9.5-hour flight. So, I don't have no intentions on doing nothing. I'm going to eat hotel food. I'm doing everything. But they said, yeah, man, it's going to be pretty crazy down there. The police said they're going to be, try to be the best they could possibly be with the top flight security of the world, Craig. You know what I'm saying? So we hope for that, man. But I do go down there to come down there with a win. Go down there.
This is prison. This is prison. This is expansion of the NFL by subjecting your players to be locked up like you're in prison because you're so scared of the city that you're in and the crime rate and also the other things. They have the wildfires going on as well. Why put them in that situation?
Yeah.
And I'm not lobbying the players and not saying they're spoiled and things of that nature. This is just safety. When a man tells his family not to come, a man does not feel safe. He's doing it because he has to go. And
then don't you worry about your other fans as well? Like, of course, if this game is announced and the Eagles,
everybody don't have security,
or Packers fans, this sounds great. Just maybe not even thinking
let's go
it
to
through.
Brazil.
Yeah. Like, let's go to Brazil.
Yeah.
Like the players in the NFL personnel are going to be taken care of. With security. The
fans.
What are you doing for your fans?
Right. They say don't take your phones out.
Right.
In Brazil. Don't take your freaking phones out. Ricky Pearsall just got shot in San Francisco over a Rolex watch. What the hell, man?
It's a big miss by the NFL.
It is.
Yep.
It's a big miss by the NFL.
You put your teams and your fans in danger.
Yeah.
No need for that.
They missed this one.
This is greed. This is greed. This is greed. NFL is king. NFL is making all this money, and everywhere they turn, the bag is just coming to them. The bag from here, whether it's streaming, whether it's ownership, whether it's endorsements, sponsorship, CEOs. Like, at some point, take a step to make sure your brand stays okay.
Yep.
Your brand hasn't taken a hit in a while. Like a major hit. This is a setup for disaster.
And that means the broadcasters, too, that go there.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure who's doing that game. I think that's a Prime
it's Amazon,
game.
right?
Yeah, so I guess that's Al Michaels and Kirk Herbstreit. So they're putting their lives in danger as well.
He ain't taking Ben with them.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
I wish I enjoyed it more. I wish I didn't hate it. I don't like that Herbstreit brings the dog to the games.
Come on.
I don't like. I could be wrong about it. I'm wrong about this. So I'll just get the. I know I'm wrong about this.
You're not.
But I hate that. I hate it.
Hate what?
That Herbstreit brings this dog everywhere.
Ben.
Yeah.
His what dog?
The dog.
His dog.
Golden Retriever.
20 different times in the booth. I got to see the dog.
Right.
Show me the game. I mean, at one point, Reese Davis is calling the game like this because the dog is laying at the feet.
Not like that.
And they pointed it out. and Herbstreit was like, "Oh, what a great teammate you are, Reese. Thanks. Sorry about that." Like, he's literally calling the game off to the side because Ben's laying at his feet.
They do whatever they want on that damn Amazon broadcast.
That's ABC.
ABC. That's when you get to a point like you get a little too. Like, cause he's been doing this for a very long time at a very, very exponential clip in college. Didn't work too much in NFL, but college, you love it. You can't get to the point where you got your dogs all over the place. Now, I can't even do my show. Now, I'm missing things because I'm trying to see what your dog is going. And we miss a big play. We miss a big moment. And now the broadcast looks cheapened, if you will. Somebody got to have some conversations with him soon. You think Reese would.
Right.
They've been there together for a very long time.
I guess I just don't like it. What you know, maybe like a.
He's an emotional
trying
support
to be
dog.
like he's not. He was asked about that.
Oh, he's got to go home.
Yeah. You know,
I think it's a great story.
Why not let the director bring his dog? Why not let Reese Davis bring his dog?
Not?
Why not let every single employee that's been at ESPN for 20 plus years bring their dog?
Lee Corso bought a dog.
Why is he special?
Yeah.
You know, I
you know why? Because ESPN told him to bring the dog because he's a great story.
Right.
Because people are paying attention to him, and people are maybe liking Kirk Herbstreit more because of his dog. That's why.
Right.
That is true. Kirk Herbstreit was no one's favorite over the last couple of years.
Yeah.
I don't think Ohio State people started to kind of be off his band.
You know who likes Kirk Herbstreit now? My kids like Kirk Herbstreit. My wife like Kirk.
That dog can't save him.
So there you go. I got one more for you before the day's up.
Yep.
My new favorite head coach is Todd Bowles. Todd Bowles. I
know why.
Todd Bowles preparing for Washington. Here he is.
I think if you find yourself just facing the rookie quarterback, the other 10 guys going to kill you. So we're facing the Redskins. We're not facing Jaden Daniels. They got 10 other guys that we got to worry about as well. So we don't look at it as facing the rookie quarterback. We're trying to beat the Redskins.
Yes.
Twice.
That's who you try to beat.
Twice.
That's right, Todd. That's who you try to beat.
Todd's in trouble.
It's coming.
Oh, yeah. He got an email for sure.
You know what, though? I will say, when anybody in Washington refers to the organization prior to the name change, they are the Redskins.
They're the Skins.
Even it was one of the when we were going through Super Bowl stories or playoff stories with the Lions. They had mentioned, even at the network level, the Lions last made an NFC championship game against the Washington Redskins in 1991. I was literally listening for that because I wanted to take a cue from the network on how to address, the name change, because they weren't the Commanders back then.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's no different when, the Washington Bullets, we're playing in the NBA. It's just...
So you can say it as it relates to anything post
prior to
right.
And same with the Indians too.
It's
so I think that is, and again, I'm not trying to be offensive. I'm just trying to we're all learning here, right? We're all learning here what to do, how to go about it. So anyway, great show today, guys.
Good job.
How about we do it again tomorrow?
Let's do it.
Sounds good to me.
How about we go through Braylon's predictions tomorrow? And we'll do mine on Thursday.
Sounds fun. It doesn't look exactly like Maz's, so it will be different. It will be different. We will be here, though. Look, the game's all here, and the season is starting. We're 2 days away from the opening of the NFL season, so extremely excited, man. Tune in this week because we are going to have some things. What the heck is Michigan going to do against that Texas team that looks so good? You know where you find out? You find out at Ermanni Networks with Maz, man. Appreciate you for tuning in. KG, Pete, appreciate you guys as always. Keep logging, keep liking, keep subscribing. We'll see you guys next week.